How would one navigate a DS dynamic in which the submissive is recovering from multiple eating disorders? Main ones being anorexia and orthorexia. Anorexia, extreme food restriction. Orthorexia being extreme fixation on what is considered to be a healthy food or not a healthy food. Taken to the extreme, this could be I'm not eating any dairy, any gluten, any wheat, any sugar, whatever. It's very much, orthorexia is very much rooted in control, oftentimes. So would punishment be off the table for this specific area, since a healthy relationship with food is trying to be encouraged? If I can fix my camera, that would be great. Okay, so is punishment off the table? Quick answer, no. Punishment is not off the table. But I think the better option is retraining a new paradigm, helping the submissive find a new paradigm and helping the submissive rebuild a healthy relationship with food. That may include punishment. It may not have to. But here are the 3 main points that I would focus on as a dominant with this kind of submissive. These are the 3 main paradigms or points of training that I would really, really lean into. I would want to train this submissive that you don't have to control your food to feel safe. That's going to be a big one. I would want to train the submissive that food is survival, not coping. Food is for survival, not coping. And the third thing that I would need to train my submissive here is that enjoyment and self-control can coexist. Okay, so those are 3 big paradigms around food that as a dominant, I would need to change. I would need to start shifting in my submissive. I would want very much to start shifting in my submissive. You don't have to control your food to feel safe. Food is for survival, not coping. And enjoyment and self-control can coexist. And that's a big one, because a big part of both of these, anorexia and orthorexia, is if I give in a little, I'm going to lose all control. And I'm going to start spiraling out of control. And I'm going to fall off the bandwagon, da-da-da-da. So here are some strategies. I have 5 strategies that I think would go a long way to helping any dominant in this situation apply those new paradigms into your submissive's mentality, into the dynamic. And the first one, oh, you submissives are not going to like this, but it's to remove all scales, measuring devices, and delete all food apps. Scales are not allowed. Measuring devices are not allowed. Food apps are not allowed. Okay? Okay? And I say that because all of those are ways that the submissive gets that fix of control through the eating disorder. Okay? Take them all. They're the devil, right? And it'll still go to that. Look, y'all, I was a personal trainer before I went into this. I discovered how easy it is for me to be dominant by being a personal trainer. Okay? Technically, some of my first clients as a femdom were personal training clients. So I know the patterns here, is what I'm saying. Okay? And I know that even when you're like, no, I'm doing good and I'm not obsessing, you're sneaking weigh-ins and you're sneaking. Did I lose a half inch? Did I lose a millimeter yet? Okay. The best personal trainers are femdoms. Love you. Okay. Would not want you to be mine. Yeah, I was pretty ridiculous. It was. Did I tell you about the time that the girl came in to my personal training session? This 16-year-old child, baby thing, came in drinking a soda this big. She came into my personal training session drinking a soda this big. Did I ever tell you what I did to that child? Okay. We'll talk story. We'll talk story while we eat, while we have dinner together. Patreon.com/AlexErotica. Join for the after party. Okay, let's focus. Does not sound like a good start for her. You are correct. Correct, sir. Okay, so first one, remove all scales, measuring devices, and delete all food apps. They are not allowed to have any control in this. We are trying to take all control away. They don't get to be fixated on this. They don't get to be hypervigilant on it, okay? Number 2, I would advise the dominant to create a recipe collection / meal list with your submissive of yummy and nutritious meals and snacks and food. Make this a fun collaboration. Fun collaboration. You and your submissive, let's sit down, put together a badass recipe book together. Create a Pinterest board of yummy recipes that you use. Whatever you need to do, but create some sort of recipe collection or meal list with your submissive. So that when you cook your submissive something good or tell them to go make something, they go, no, I don't like that. They won't be able to get away with that. What this is doing is preemptive brat taming, essentially, is what this step is. Okay? I see you, brats. Number 3, set feeding guidelines for your submissive dominance. Set feeding guidelines. So feeding guidelines could be you are to eat a small portion of something every 4 hours. Or if you want to do intermittent fasting, you know, if you last meal at 8 p.m., first meal at 8 a.m. It could be breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, dinner like a pauper. However you want to set up their parameters around their guidelines for food, do it. Feeding guidelines. Do they have to ask you permission before they eat something? Do they have to send you a picture of their food? Do you want to be able to see what they're eating? Or is that too much for you? You're like, no. What are your parameters? What are your guidelines? But establish those, dominant. 4th one, treats in moderation. And here's the important part. Treats in moderation just because, not as a reward. Not as a reward. I know it seems like it would be doing a good thing, but it's actually counterintuitive to reward with food someone who struggles with their relationship with food, because oftentimes, whether it's control, whether it's self-soothing, whatever, food has taken on a different meaning. Food is now our comforter. Food is now our companion. Food is now how we cope. Whatever. Food is a reward. Food is a treat. Food is how we validate ourselves. And food should not be any of those, because what are we trying to shift in our paradigm? Food is for survival, not coping. So we need to sever the tie that good girls get treats and bad girls don't get treats. We need to sever that connection. Your behavior should never qualify you to get food or not. Your behavior should never qualify you to get food or not. Food should be for survival. That's how we train gluttony in our children. Be good, be quiet, and I'll give you a treat. Be good, be quiet, I'll give you a treat. Be good, be quiet, I'll give you a treat. We want to break that, because that really is the backside of the extreme eating disorder. It really is. It's we are defining this relationship with food by something it should not be. Okay? And so treats in moderation, but not as a reward. The next one, dominance, infrequent but consistent progress checks. Okay? So this is only if the submissive is like trying to lose weight, trying to get healthier, things like that. If you need to do a weigh-in, if you need to do measurements, if you need to check blood pressure or cholesterol or whatever, I would say infrequent but consistent. So this is very organic. Infrequent could be once a month, Infrequent could be once a week. Infrequent could be once every quarter, whatever. Okay. But we want, and this is for weight loss specifically. This is for, we have a goal in mind that we're trying to shift physically in our health. Okay. Yes. Good evening. Good evening. We love you. We love you. And then I just want to finish up this with what Kayla Deer said. Dominant, show your joy. Show your joy when your submissive does do something good with food. When they initiate feeding themselves when previously they wouldn't because they'd be so ashamed. Praise, show your joy. If they cook a wonderful meal for just themselves, oh my gosh, praise them. They cook a meal for the both of you, praise them. If they make a comment in passing, you know, I really enjoyed that meal and I used to not enjoy food. Praise, joy, okay? All of that, okay? So again, the 3 paradigms that we want to shift. You don't have to control your food to feel safe. Food is survival, not coping. And enjoyment and self-control can coexist. To do this, we're going to do 5 things. Dominance, we're going to remove all scales, measuring devices, and delete all food apps. 2, we're going to create a recipe collection or meal list with our submissive. 3, we're going to set specific feeding guidelines for the submissive. 4, we're going to treat in moderation just because, not as a reward. And 5, we're going to give infrequent but consistent progress checks if this is for health or weight loss. And beyond anything else, show your joy when the submissive does healthy, good things with food.